Have you ever taken a bite of something, maybe a slice of aged Parmesan cheese, a burger with the perfect sear, or a bowl of rich, slow-cooked tomato sauce, and felt this deep, mouth-filling satisfaction? It's that savory richness that coats your tongue and lingers long after you swallow. For a long time, we didn't really have a word for that. We called it savory or meaty. But in the last few decades, science has finally caught up to what our stomachs have known all along. That sensation? It's umami. You've heard the buzzword, but do you actually know how to use it? Today, we aren't just talking about flavor. We are talking about a superpower. We're going to look at the actual molecular biology behind why some food tastes incredible and other food tastes flat. We're going to cover the umami multiplier effect, a scientific hack that can make your food taste literally 8 times more intense. And I'm going to give you a checklist of ingredients and techniques that will turn you from a person who follows recipes into a person who understands flavor. Welcome to the deep dive on umami. It's honestly wild that for centuries, Western science insisted there were only 4 tastes: sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. Meanwhile, across the ocean, a Japanese chemist named Kikunae Ikeda was eating a bowl of dashi broth in 1908 and thought, there is something else going on here. He isolated a compound called glutamate. He realized this was the source of that pleasant savory taste, or in Japanese, umami. But here's the kicker. The West basically ignored him for nearly 100 years. It wasn't until the year 2000 that the American Medical Association and Western scientists finally admitted, okay, yeah, you guys were right. They found specific receptors on our tongues that respond only to umami. So, let's get technical for just a second. Don't worry, no exam at the end. To master cooking, you need to know the players. There are 3 main compounds you need to hunt for in the grocery store. First, glutamate. This is an amino acid. It is everywhere. It's the foundation of savory flavor. Then, you have the nucleotides, inosinate and guanylate. Now, why does this matter? Because of something called synergy. This is the most important part of this entire video. If you eat something rich in glutamate, like a tomato, it tastes good. If you eat something rich in inosinate, like meat, it tastes good. But if you combine them? The science shows that when these compounds hit your tongue receptors, specifically the T1R1 and T1R3 receptors, they don't just add up. They multiply. In human studies, the response to a mixture of these compounds is approximately 8 times stronger than glutamate alone. 8 times. That is why a cheeseburger tastes better than just cheese or just meat. That is why Italian pasta sauce is a classic. That is why Japanese dashi works. You are hacking your biology to register a signal that is 800% stronger than the individual ingredients. That is the secret of umami. Okay, now that we know the chemistry, let's go grocery shopping. We need to identify the umami MVPs. These are ingredients you should always have in your pantry if you want to access that multiplier effect. First up, aged cheese, specifically Parmigiano Reggiano. You know those little crunchy crystals in really old cheese. That is pure flavor. Aging is controlled breakdown. Proteins break down into amino acids, including, you guessed it, glutamate. A single ounce of Parmesan has about 1,680 milligrams of free glutamate. That is one of the highest concentrations in nature. Next, the tomato. But not just any tomato. A fresh tomato is okay. But if you dry it? Sun-dried tomatoes have over 1,100 milligrams. Tomato paste is the same deal. Cooking and concentrating the tomato breaks down the walls and releases the flavor. This is why a spoonful of tomato paste can save a boring stew. Number 3, mushrooms, specifically dried ones. Mushrooms are unique because they are loaded with guanylate, one of those booster nucleotides we talked about. Dried shiitake mushrooms are basically umami bombs. They have as much glutamate punch as aged cheese. Now, for the controversial one, fish sauce and anchovies. I know, some of you are thinking I don /T like fishy food. But here's the secret. When you use just a little bit of fish sauce or anchovy paste in a meat dish or a pasta sauce, you don /T taste fish. You taste depth. Fermented fish products are loaded with protein that has been broken down by enzymes over months. Some fish sauces have over 900 milligrams of glutamate per 100 grams. They are liquid savoriness. And don't forget the hidden gems. Kombu, the heavyweight champion, with over 2,000 milligrams of glutamate. Green tea. Yes, it has savory notes. Nutritional yeast, the vegetarian cheat code. If you have these ingredients in your kitchen, you aren't just cooking, you're assembling an arsenal. Having the ingredients is step one, but you can also create umami through how you cook. There are 3 main techniques you need to master. Technique number 1, the Maillard reaction. This is the browning. When you sear a steak, roast a vegetable, or toast bread, you are heating amino acids and sugars above 300 degrees Fahrenheit. This doesn't just change the color. It creates thousands of new flavor compounds and, crucially, generates glutamate. A raw mushroom is fine. A roasted, brown mushroom is an entirely different food group. It has a more concentrated flavor and more umami. So, stop crowding your pan. Let your food brown. That crust is flavor. Technique number 2, time. We're talking fermentation and aging. Remember, umami comes from proteins breaking down. You can do this with heat, or you can do it with enzymes over time. This is why we love miso, soy sauce, kimchi, and prosciutto. The proteins have been predigested by enzymes into free amino acids. You might not be making your own prosciutto in your garage, but you can use this principle. A splash of soy sauce or a spoon of miso paste adds that aged complexity to a dish you're making in 20 minutes. Technique number 3, reduction. This is the simplest one. Remove the water. When you simmer a stock or a tomato sauce for hours, you are evaporating water and concentrating everything else. You're also allowing enzymes to keep working for a while. A 24-hour bone broth is thick and savory because all that collagen and protein has broken down into gelatin and glutamate. Okay, we've done the science, we've done the shopping, we've done the cooking theory. Now let's put it on the plate. How do you use this on a Tuesday night when you're tired and just want dinner? I call this the everyday upgrade. Let's take the humble scrambled egg. By itself, it's mild, but let's apply our umami playbook. Add a little grated Parmesan. Sauté some mushrooms first. Maybe a drop of soy sauce and a beet. Finish with fresh cracked pepper. Suddenly, you don't just have eggs. You have a savory bomb because you triggered that synergistic effect we talked about earlier. Let's talk about pasta sauce. Most people just dump a jar of tomato sauce in a pan. That's fine, but if you want it to taste like a restaurant, start by browning some tomato paste in olive oil. Get that Maillard reaction going. Add a tiny minced anchovy fillet. It will dissolve completely, I promise, and just leave a savory backbone. Maybe a splash of fish sauce. Throw in a Parmesan rind to simmer in the sauce while it cooks. You are layering glutamate on inosinate. You are building a skyscraper of flavor. Here are some classic pairings you should try to memorize because they utilize that 1 + 1 is equal to 8 math. Mushrooms plus tomato, the vegetarian classic. Cheese plus cured meat, the charcuterie board logic. Kombu plus bonito, the Japanese dashi base. Burger plus cheese plus ketchup. Yes, even fast food uses this. Beef plus cheese plus ketchup. I want you to try an experiment this week. It's the best way to actually learn this. Make a simple baseline dish. Plain white rice or a very simple chicken broth. Taste it. It's bland. Now, add one umami ingredient. Maybe a dash of MSG or a splash of soy sauce. Taste it again. Now, add a synergistic ingredient. If you add soy sauce, add a little mushroom powder. Pay attention to how the flavor changes. Does it feel wider? Does it make your mouth water more? That sensation of mouth fullness is the umami interacting with your digestive system. Believe it or not, you have umami receptors in your stomach too, not just your tongue. Your body is literally programmed to seek this out. Some scientists think umami signals protein to our brains, helping us recognize nutrient-dense food. Learning about umami isn't just about memorizing a list of ingredients. It's a paradigm shift. Once you understand why things taste good, you stop guessing. You realize that a bland soup isn't a failure. It's just a chemical equation that is missing a variable. It's missing glutamate. It's missing the synergy. It empowers you to fix mistakes. It allows you to reduce salt and sugar because you're getting satisfaction from savory depth instead. It opens up a whole new dimension of creativity. So here is my challenge to you. Go buy one umami MVP you don't usually use. Maybe it's a tube of anchovy paste, maybe it's a bag of MSG, maybe it's dried shiitake mushrooms. Use it in your dinner tonight. And when you take that first bite and feel that deep, savory satisfaction, you'll know exactly what's happening on a molecular level. If you want the full umami checklist I mentioned, I've dropped a summary in the description below. Let me know in the comments. What is your secret flavor bomb ingredient? Are you team fish sauce or team Worcestershire? Thanks for watching, and go make something delicious.